right, my friends, I'm Coach Tom. Welcome to iplaytennis.com. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to serve. The serve is the shot that starts every single point. So obviously, it's pretty important that you guys know how to do this. And today, I'm going to give you a couple of really basic, simple things you can do to get that ball in and start playing. That's probably the biggest thing, you guys. Keep it simple. I'm going to teach you again kind of a 1, 2, 3, really simple, basic, 3-step process to get your serves in. And it's going to start with a toss, okay? The toss is probably the most important part of this because we got to make sure that that toss is in a good spot, right? If I toss the ball over here and then over here and I'm reaching it, that's not going to work very well. I want to have that toss in a pretty consistent spot. So you guys may actually have to practice that toss before you actually start practicing your serves, and that's okay. Do that, practice it, right? Get out here, just hold your racket up and just try to get that ball kind of right out in front of you. Maybe about, if I'm standing here, for those of you that actually know what a clock looks like, not a digital one, but you want to be about 1 o'clock and maybe about a foot or so in front of you, okay? So hold your racket up and just practice, right? Just practice that toss, get comfortable. I don't want it too high, I don't want it too low, because that's going to affect our serve at some point, but for now, right about there, right? So if I'm going to reach up as high as I can, I want that toss to be about as high as my racket. Okay, so once you have the toss actually kind of dialed in and you're feeling pretty comfortable with that toss, cool, we're ready to actually serve. And again, it's a simple 1, 2, 3 process. So I'm gonna use, at this level, I'm gonna use what I call the old frying pan grip, right? We're just gonna hold the racket straight up and down, right? So if I'm facing the court this way, I want my racket face to be pointed where the ball is gonna go, right? If my racket looks like that, that's not gonna work. The ball's gonna go that way. Likewise, that way. So if I'm here, and again, this is you guys for a beginner serve, right? We're practicing and we're going to develop and progress our serve, but for right now, this is the grip we're going to use, right? That'll change as we develop, but for now, that frying pan grip, we want to make sure that we're getting that ball out in front of us and that that racket is facing where we want the ball to go. So a couple of things before we get into the actual serve. One, you get 2 chances to hit this shot. You get 2 chances to serve. So if you try one and you miss it, you get a second chance. If you miss that second one, that's what's called a double fault, right? You fault, if you miss a serve, it's called a fault. If you fault twice, it's a double fault, and your opponent gets that point. A couple other things, when you guys are serving, you can see kind of, I'm standing here on the right side of the court. There's a little mark right in the middle, and that kind of divides right half from left half. The right half is gonna be your deuce court, the left half is gonna be your ad court. We'll worry about that later, but for now, the idea is that you actually have to serve from one side to the opposite service box. If you don't know what the service box is, I'll link it in there. There's a description of that in the video that I'll link below. But it's basically the little box on the opposite side of the net. There are 2 of them, and I've got to serve from my side here, the right side of this hash mark, this little hash mark, I've got to serve from my side to the opposite service box. If I'm standing on the left side or the ad court, I've got to serve to the opposite service box. So you've got to land the ball in the opposite service box. On the line counts, but anywhere on the line or inside that service box, that's what you're looking for. A foot fault, right? We talked about a fault. If you miss the serve, if it doesn't land in the box, that's a fault. But there's also a foot fault where you actually step on the baseline here before you hit the ball, okay? Not allowed to do that. Likewise, you're not allowed to really stand on the opposite side of that center hash mark. As a beginner player, don't worry too much about that. Most of us foot fault as we're learning. It's really not a huge deal. If you've got people that are calling that on you, just back up a couple of steps, right? You can serve from back here, it's not a big deal. But it's important that you know what it is and understand that if you're doing it regularly, somebody might call that on you and that would count as a regular fault as if you had missed the serve. So the serve, racket ready, ball toss, hit, up and out. I want that serve to go up off your racket. Don't go hitting it down because guess what? That big thing in the middle of the court, the net, it's going to get in the way, okay? The closer you try to hit it to the net, the more likely you are to actually hit the net, right? Kind of makes sense. So I want that ball going up and out, okay? So keep it really, really simple. 1, 2, 3. All I want you guys, racket ready, ball toss, hit. That's it, simple. Notice my racket's not moving a lot, my body's not moving a lot. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm not tossing it super, super high. I'm not tossing it really low because those are some things that can kind of mess with our serve. I want to be right about where my strings are, okay? If you're having a tough time with this, you can literally just toss, right? That's it. That's a good way to kind of practice. Just toss, and just get used to tossing that ball into your racket strings. Okay, so super easy. 1, 2, 3, let's hit a couple of these. Again, racket ready, ball toss, hit, up and out, okay? Don't do the ball toss first, because what ends up happening is the ball toss, see how fast and kind of uncontrolled and uncoordinated that is? Don't worry about getting your racket all that. Racket ready, then the ball toss, then you hit, up and out, okay? So here we go. Racket ready, ball toss, up. 1, 2, 3. It's really as easy as that, you guys. All right, so I've got a really quick, easy drill for you guys to practice this. We're gonna do a progression starting on the service line and backing our way up, okay? I want you guys to be hitting these serves consistently, getting them over and in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 10 balls, and you're gonna hit, and you're gonna try to make them into the opposite service box, okay? So I'm gonna start up here on the service line, hit 10 balls. If I can make, let's say 5 or 6 of those, then I'll back up to kind of 3/4 court, right? If I can make 5 or 6 of those, then I'll back up to full court, right? If I'm not making 5 or 6, grab those 10 balls up and start again, try it again. Because what we don't want is you guys all the way back here and struggling and not having a good success rate and then feeling frustrated about it, right? So let's start small, build our confidence, and then back up as we go. So I'll start right here. Cool. I'll go for maybe 8 or 10 of these. Excuse me, I'll go for 10 of these, trying to make 5 or 6. Very simple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm making those in, so now I'm gonna back up to the 3/4 court line. So I'm back here at 3/4 court, I'm gonna try it again. 1, 2, 3. Remember, I've got that good frying pan grip. I'm maybe a little bit sideways to the ball, but that's not a huge deal yet. It will be in lessons 2 and 3, but for now, it's not a huge deal. But frying pan grip, 1, 2, 3. So I hit 10 of those, I make 5 or 6, maybe 7 of those. Cool, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling comfortable and confident. I back up here to the baseline and I try the same thing. Racket ready, ball toss, bump. A little bit bigger swing. Really, from back here, you guys, really, it's just more about height. It's not about how much harder you hit it. I don't want you to try to hit it harder from further back here, because that's where we can actually get into some problems in terms of adding pieces to our swing and all that stuff. We don't want to do that. So at this point, just lean your racket back a little bit more, give me a little bit more bump, and then just hit that ball higher in order to cover that extra distance from here to the net. Racket ready, ball toss, bump. Okay, that's it. I'm hitting that ball right there probably cleared the net by 8 feet, 10 feet. That's totally fine for right now. Our job, remember you guys, isn't to hit the ball hard, it's not to win the point, it's to get that serve in, get comfortable and confident, because once you're feeling confident, then we can start adding pieces and moving on to kind of the next level and building some direction, some power, some aim, some variety, all those things into our service game. So get out there and practice this, you guys. Work on this. Do this drill and get comfortable and confident with this. Then move on to lesson 2. Don't get ahead of yourselves, because if you're not feeling comfortable with this stuff and the concepts and the theory that we're covering here, lesson 2 is going to be pretty tricky. Okay, so once again, I'm your coach, you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what works and doesn't work. We'll move on from there.